Uncertainty often starts its whisper before the first bird greets the sky, pressing unfinished tasks and silent fears against your chest. Do you feel that familiar weight gathering in the quiet corners of your mind? In this pre-dawn hush, a blade of awakening light slices the horizon and offers a gentler rhythm, one where every burden can finally relax its grip. The God who shelters and restores draws near, inviting trustful surrender, so you trade weariness for fresh strength and clear direction. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. These words open wide at sunrise, revealing a doorway through which you can walk right now, exchanging anxiety for assurance. Which burden will you place at His feet this morning? What new path of blessing do you long to explore? Notice your breathing. Every inhale proves strength still flows towards you, and each exhale can become gratitude. Now, as your heart grows still, we step into the unfolding grace of daybreak. You stir as rose, gold breathes across the rim of the sky, coaxing the last shreds of night to loosen their grip on your window and your heart. You blink away lingering dreams, sensing the first delicate pulse of anticipation that flutters whenever creation unwraps a fresh dawn. In that pristine hush you detect the rhythm of eternity, a subtle heartbeat aligning with yours, assuring you that heaven leans close whenever you whisper the faintest prayer. Beneath that awareness rises a confidence deeper than emotion. The quiet knowing that light is not fragile, it is royal and will reign over every hour unfolding ahead. You move slowly, unhurried on purpose, because hurry is the adversary of attentiveness. Your feet find the floor like roots seeking living water. And you remember that the ground beneath you is holy not because it is flawless, but because presence inhabits it. You open the blinds of your inner life the way you lift the window pane, deliberately and gratefully, letting yesterday's disappointments drift out with the stale air. You do not chase them, you simply release them like autumn leaves riding a kind wind. A breeze slips through the cracked window and brushes your face like a close friend's hand, cool yet gentle, recalling the spirit hovering over primordial waters, shaping chaos into cosmos. The same creative stillness settles, now over your unfinished projects, strained conversations, and lingering health questions, inviting order and inviting hope. One by one you surrender these concerns, not in frantic pleading, but in calm handoff, as though placing fragile packages into the arms of a skilled deliverer who never drops what you entrust. Soon your breathing evens, matching the slow cadence of dawn itself. When lungs fill with crisp air, perspective fills with quiet courage. You begin blessing everything within view, the chipped mug waiting for coffee, the stack of notes demanding attention, even the silence humming between ticking seconds. Blessing is not denial, it is declaration that goodness can occupy any space yielded to love. And that declaration already transforms the atmosphere. Light now slides across the ceiling, painting soft assurances on walls that once displayed fears. You stand by the window and study the sky's unfolding canvas. Peach, lavender, promise, and you sense the maker's artistry drawing close enough to touch. A timeless reminder whispers through memory. Psalm 118:24, this is the day the Lord has made. You can rejoice and step inside its gift. Mercy threads every second, inviting participation rather than performance. holding that verse like a lantern. You ask, what first thought will govern the landscape of your mind? Will worry stake its claim, or will gratitude plant a flag? You choose with your next breath, exhaling doubt, inhaling serenity, that gratitude will reign. You imagine the path ahead, commutes, conversations, choices, illuminated not by fluorescent stress, but by the gentle flame of awakening light that walks with you. Should clouds gather later, you will remember that the sun never retreats. It only waits behind the veil, still sovereign, still warm. At last you sense the Father's invitation. Walk in the light you have received. You stretch your arms toward the ceiling like branches greeting sky. Weight has not vanished, yet it has shifted. No longer a shackle, now a mantle of purpose. Your heartbeat syncs with birdsong, your eyes reflect early brightness, and every cell seems to say yes to living. You are awake, carried by awakening light. You are ready. You step away from the window and feel the subtle tug of responsibilities, waiting like stones in a satchel, yet something within urges you to loosen the straps. Vision drifts to your open palms, and you picture each worry. A deadline, a diagnosis, a difficult conversation, taking shape as small river, pebbles resting in your hands. The dawn breeze brushes your fingers, reminding you that objects this light were never meant to bruise your soul. One by one, you lower your arms and let the pebbles tumble onto the hardwood, hearing the soft clatter of surrender echo through the quiet house. Nothing shatters. Instead, the floor receives what you no longer carry, and silence grows spacious enough to breathe. With shoulders freer, you walk to a chair that knows the curve of your back and sit without rushing. You close your eyes, tracing the path of air entering lungs, staying for a heartbeat, then leaving like tides guided by hidden moons. Each exhale whispers release, each inhale hums replenishment. A verse rises like dew on your tongue. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. The words feel less like instruction and more like warm blanket over chilled skin, inviting you to rest rather than perform. You imagine dropping heavier stones, regrets about yesterday's sharp words, the tension of finances, the uneasy silence with someone you love, into an invisible river at your feet. Water receives them without splash, currents carry them beyond sight, and your chest expands as space once occupied by dread fills with gentle trust. The room's stillness deepens, and you sense holy empathy drawing near, not scolding but understanding the complex weave of your thoughts. You admit that laying down weight feels vulnerable, like setting armor aside on unfamiliar ground. Yet you remember that true courage is never forged in self-reliance. It blossoms where dependence meets divine kindness. You breathe that reality in, letting it settle behind collarbones and along spine until posture straightens and chin lifts. Sunlight has climbed higher, lacing golden threads across the floorboards where your pebbles rest. They gleam harmlessly, transformed from threats into reminders of mercy. If a stray thought tries to reclaim them, you answer with quiet authority. The one who fashioned galaxies holds my moments. I am secure. The declaration lands firm, anchoring mind and temperament. You rise slowly, walking the perimeter of the room, blessing thresholds you will cross today. The doorway to work, the path to conversation, the corridor to service. Each step affirms that empty hands are ready hands, capable of receiving fresh assignments and offering authentic kindness. You notice how shoulders square without bracing. Freedom wears easier than tension. Before moving on, you kneel and gather the literal pebbles in a small bowl, symbol of burdens surrendered. You place the bowl by the entryway as a testament. If future hours tempt you to reclaim weight, you will see these stones and remember the moment you chose release. With that, you reach for your journal and jot a simple vow. I travel lighter so I can love deeper. The ink dries quickly, yet the promise lingers like the fragrance of morning rain on warm earth. You stand once more, tipping face toward the brightening ceiling. Light pools over you, and a quiet assurance follows. What you let go of today becomes the space in which grace can flourish tomorrow. You walk into the kitchen, the surface of the table still cool from night air, and pause before doing anything that looks productive. Steam has not yet risen from the kettle, screens remain dark, and in that calm you recognize a rare invitation, relying completely on someone stronger than your best strategy. Yesterday's schedule felt like tight rope wire. Today you choose solid ground. You inhale deeply, noticing the faint scent of jasmine drifting through an open window, and let the aroma teach lungs how to rest before labor begins. A chair welcomes you again, this time not for rest, but for yielding. You place your wrists pulse up on your knees, a posture signaling openness. Thoughts surface, bargaining for control, yet you answer each by recalling how gently dawn replaced darkness. If heaven can choreograph sunrise, heaven can certainly direct meetings, emails, and diagnoses. Realization settles control was always illusion. Partnership with divine kindness is the safer road. Warm assurance travels from collarbone to fingertips, steadying pulse and thought alike. A Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. The promise rolls through your chest like a steady drumbeat, aligning inner tempo with eternal rhythm. Straight paths may still win through challenges, yet they will never wander outside protective love. Eyes closed, you picture life as a sailboat floating on a dawn-lit bay. Currents represent circumstances you cannot command. Wind symbolizes sacred guidance. Your task is not to invent gusts, but to raise the canvas of willingness. Slowly, you imagine pulling the halyard, fabric billows, catching unseen power, and the vessel glides without strain. That movement is surrender in motion, progress without panic, direction without force. Should storms arrive later, you will remember the wind that carried you first. Now you speak softly, naming each arena you release. Shape my conversations, temper my tone, guard my reactions. Words are few because trust needs no lengthy speeches. Silence follows, and in that hush something shifts, like a door clicking open inside the heart. Confidence arrives, not brash but calm, wearing serenity like a linen garment. Worry looks small beside such quiet strength. You rise and pour water into the kettle, listening to its gentle hiss. Even mundane sounds echo assurance. Preparation is underway, yet outcome belongs to grace. As water warms, you stand by the counter, palms face down, picturing every plan sliding from your fingers like grains of sand returning to shoreline. The sun's rays now reach their first fingertip across the tile, and you step into that strip of light as an act of agreement. Warmth touches ankles, climbs shins, and reminds you that surrender does not shrink life, it enlarges capacity for wonder. Before the whistle calls you back, you take one more breath and whisper, "Lead me." The words feel lighter than feather, yet heaven treats them as map coordinates. You know guidance will emerge in moments, a sudden clarity, a gentle nudge, a closed door holding more kindness than an open one. With kettle singing, you smile, aware that this small room has become a chapel of trustful surrender, and the day outside waits to echo its peace. You pour the hot water over tea leaves and watch tiny swirls rise like ribbons, each curl proclaiming that warmth can loosen even the most knotted fibers. Steam kisses your face, coaxing eyelids wider, and you sense energy gathering the way dawn gathers color, subtly, layer upon layer. The fragrance of citrus and honey fills the kitchen, coaxing appetite and anticipation in equal measure. You cradle the mug, letting gentle heat seep through porcelain and fingertips, reminding skin and soul that renewal often arrives as simple comforts received without hurry. With first sip, flavor spreads across tongue, awakening senses that once felt dull. You feel pulse growing confident, not racing. The difference lies in where power originates. No longer siphoned from anxious striving, vigor now wells up from the quiet surrender you practiced moments ago. A memory surfaces of rivers fed by underground springs. Waters emerge clear because pressure has filtered impurities before reaching daylight. Your renewed energy flows like that, purified, prepared, unstoppable. Isaiah 4:31, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, run and not grow weary, walk and not be faint. The promise lands inside like steady drum beats, each word constructing an inner sanctuary where stamina and hope flourish side by side. You picture yourself rising on unseen thermals, lifted by grace rather than grit, and a quiet smile forms. Half gratitude, half awe. You move to the window again, noticing sunbeams thicker now. Bathing treetops in liquid gold, leaves shimmer, their veins pulsing with hidden sugars, and you realize that photosynthesis, this miracle of turning light into sustenance, mirrors what is happening in you. Illumination meets surrender, producing resilience. You whisper gratitude for muscles that flex, for lungs that expand, for a mind capacious enough to imagine solutions yet tender enough to recognize mystery. Breakfast becomes an altar. Slices of fruit glisten like gems, grains promise slow, burning fuel, and cool water refreshes as baptism for body and thought. You eat unhurriedly, letting each flavor remind you that nourishment is not indulgence, it is stewardship. As nutrients travel bloodstream, they carry a quiet declaration. You are equipped to meet whatever this day unfolds. Tension once coiled in shoulders now unspools, making room for purposeful movement. When plate is empty, you rinse it under shimmering tap water and consider tasks ahead. Emails awaiting replies, faces awaiting kindness, problems awaiting insight. Instead of bracing, you breathe and feel core muscles stabilize posture. Strength has moved beyond theory. It inhabits bone and intention. You stretch arms overhead, spine lengthening like a sapling reaching skyward, and hear joints whisper gratitude. The day calls, and you answer not with reluctance, but with calm intensity, stepping away from the kitchen shore, that every stride will echo the quiet power granted here among steam and sunrise. You tie your shoes and feel laces snug around arches, a quiet reminder that preparation ushers purpose. The hallway stretches ahead like an unopened scroll, waiting for the ink of each deliberate step. Keys rest in your hand while you listen for the interior compass awakened earlier, sensing that direction is relational, never mechanical. Door swings wide and dawn air greets cheeks with cool blessing. Pavement glistens where sunlight erases last night's mist, turning ordinary asphalt into a silver guideline. Birds swirl overhead, their flight neither frantic nor random. And in their patterns you read assurance that design also threads through today's schedule. Under this widening sky, you do not wander, you cooperate with choreography older than sunrise. Psalm 32:8, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. The promise rests in your palm like a compass, steady even when clouds gather. You step onto the sidewalk, noticing how each slab shows tiny fractures, yet still supports weight. Likewise, plans may carry hairline imperfections, yet purpose remains sturdy. Stop signs, crosswalks, distant traffic lights speak in color and form, civic languages of wisdom. Their presence hints that heaven also posts signals, an unexpected delay, a green surge of clarity, a caution glowing within conscience. You vow to watch rather than rush. At the corner you linger, letting a long breath anchor attention. Memories attempt to predict outcomes, but hope overrides calculation. You silently ask, which meeting needs patience, which conversation needs courage, which task can wait so kindness can act first. Questions hang like lanterns lighting interior corridors until answers bloom. A breeze flips your jacket hem, curling around you like an unseen mentor, turning pages of an unwritten itinerary. You sense invitation to hold goals loosely and people tenderly. Progress measured only in check marks can eclipse chance encounters where grace loves to appear face to face. Margin, then, is not waste. It is welcoming space. Crossing the street, you observe shadows lengthen, arrows pointing forward while reminding you of the light behind. Guidance proves double, edged current leading and retrospective confirmation weave together, stitching confidence into time. Even mistakes become signposts once surrendered, so regret softens and slips away. Before the final turn toward today's assignments, you rest a palm over steady heartbeat, the metronome of grace assuring you no detour outruns providence. You whisper a covenant. Wherever love leads, my answer is yes. The words rise like morning incense, and your stride grows sure, trusting ground, horizon, and the silent companion who stitches them into one guided path uniquely yours. Golden rays now crown the rooftops, and you linger on the threshold of your destination, sensing the hush before doors swing wide and conversations bloom. Morning has journeyed beside you like a loyal companion, etching quiet signatures of grace on every footstep. And now you stand wrapped in stillness, so deep that city clatter dissolves into a distant hum. Closing your eyes, you feel light brush your lids, a tender anointing naming you seen, cherished and commissioned. The worries you laid down at dawn do not echo here. The vacancy they left now brims with promise, bright and buoyant. You inhale slowly, recognizing blessing as both gift and assignment. Palms rise, curved upward as though catching invisible rain, shimmering in sunlight. Each droplet carries provision, insight for decisions, patience for delays, courage for truth, tenderness for tired souls. None of these virtues originate in you. They stream from a fountain that loves to overflow through willing vessels. You picture seed, rich clouds hovering above cubicles and classrooms, poised to burst the moment even one whisper of kindness leaves your lips. Eyes open, and light scatters diamonds across pavement. A passer-by nods, unaware of the benediction you breathe toward hidden battles. May calm settle restless thoughts. May delight punctuate their afternoon. May rest cradle their sleep. Blessing multiplies when shared. Damming it would starve fields destined to flourish. So you decide every meeting will double as altar, each email a doorway for goodwill, every pause at the water cooler an unexpected rescue. Inside the building, fluorescent bulbs blink awake, yet the glow within you outshines their sterile glare. Corridors echo with heel, taps, but you walk them mindful that royalty travels humbly, leaving hope in its wake. Arriving early to a conference room, you align papers with calm precision. Co-workers enter bearing chatter and agenda sheets, and also invisible burdens. Your greeting, warmed by sunrise, shifts microclimates, tension lowers, collaboration rises, weary shoulders lift. Mid-morning, an unplanned complication snarls a project. Instead of bracing, you pause, inhale memory of dawn, and exhale a measured response. Poise becomes contagious. The obstacle shrinks as creative thought expands. You learn that blessing is not immunity from challenge, but illumination within it, revealing paths through tangled forest. Gratitude flickers anew. When lunchtime sun pours through cafe windows, you sit near the glow, letting rays glaze your meal. Each bite tastes of multiplied mercy. Fields, farmers, drivers, cooks, all folded into flavor. You pray without syllables, just attentive chewing and grateful breathing. Nourishment roots blessing so it endures whatever shadows afternoon may cast. Hours later those shadows lengthen, yet you do not fear diminishing light. You carry dawn inside. After work you will stroll home beneath soft skies, past the bowl of surrendered stones still resting by the door, untouched. You will thank the one who traded weight for wonder and lie down knowing tomorrow's mercies gather beyond the horizon. For now, you stand, spine loose, heart bright, stepping back into the stream of tasks, radiating brilliance borrowed at daybreak and confident every soul you encounter will glimpse that shine. Pause for a final breath. In your mind, revisit the window where light first greeted you, the floor where every pebble dropped, the kettle where surrender steamed, the path where guidance sparkled, and the desk where blessings spread. Notice how each scene links into one gentle promise. You are loved, you are led, you are strengthened. Whatever today unfolds, you can respond from that center of quiet abundance. Feel breath settle, muscles soften. Expectations loosen their hurried grip today. Linger in gratitude, let silence speak its benediction, and carry this hush within your movements until night.